installment of Mrs. Quintas Message Mondays. I hope that your first week of school went really well, and I'm excited to meet you guys and get your personal interest surveys back so I can start learning more about you. So this is my second week at home. Hopefully I will have a child soon. It's actually Thursday today when I'm actually making this video, so hopefully by the time I actually talk to you guys or get your personal interest surveys back next time I do a Message Monday, hopefully I have some feedback from you guys, so that if you have any questions, or I can at least read through your personal interest surveys so I know a little bit more about you guys. So hopefully by the next Mrs. Quintas Message Mondays I'll have a little bit more information and feedback from you guys. So again, I hope your first week at LCA went really well. I hope you're settling into school well, and yeah, I'm excited to meet you guys. So the things that I wanted to go over today, the first thing was notebooks, the issue of notebooks. You will need to organize all of your stuff in biology into a notebook. And I'm going to suggest this very strongly. For those of you who tend to be unorganized, I want you to take this advice. For those of you who tend to be super duper organized, maybe you have your own system that even works better than this, but I think this is the best way to organize your biology stuff. I just need you to have a system. This is my very strong suggestion, and for those of you, especially those of you who are super unorganized, I hope you take my advice. You will be getting some points during at least the first part of the year on your biology notebook, so this is actually a big deal. I really need you guys to organize all of your stuff really well. So my suggestion to you guys to how you organize your notebook, I first want to address the issue of bell ringers. So for bell ringers, what I want you guys to do when you guys write bell ringers, I don't know if you can see that very well. Lighting. Okay, so when you guys write bell ringers, I need you to write down the date, and then I need you to write down the actual question that's written on the board, again over on the whiteboard, and then the answer. It's kind of pointless to put an answer and not write down the question, because if you're studying for a test 2 weeks later, you're not going to know what the original question was to that answer. It's just going to be some answer and you're not even going to know what the question was. So it's important to write down the question, and it's important to write down the answer, because that's the helpful part. That's what will get you points on a test. So again, these bell ringer questions are going to become more and more important, and again, like I said last week, I pull a lot of my test questions straight from the bell ringers. So give yourself some points on a test by writing down these bell ringers and studying them. So date, the reason this is important, if you miss class or somebody else missed class, it's just easier to be like, hey, can you get me the bell ringers from this date? I was gone. Boom, you got it. It's easier to find when there's a date there, and it's easier for organizing your notebook, talking about when we started different units and things like that. So bell ringers, write the date, write the question, and write the answer, please. Okay, so my suggestion is to keep all your bell ringers in one section in your notebook. That way you basically have, in that one section on bell ringers, you have all of the most important questions and answers for biology, basically. So that when you're studying for bigger tests or even the exam at the end of the year, you can go back and just know that these are the most important questions that we asked and are able to answer now in class. So that's where you can concentrate a lot of your studying. So that is my suggestion to you for organizing bell ringers. And if you look in the classroom, on the left-hand side, towards the back, I put up a bunch of really colorful pieces of paper that actually are the different topics that we're going to study this year. Those are pretty much going to be the units that we go through. So take a look back there it says, there's a white sign that says, where are we going this year in biology? And then it shows all the different topics that we're going to cover. I suggest having a section in your notebook for bell ringers, and then having sections in your notebook for each of those topic areas. So right now, you guys are reviewing scientific theory, and then you're going to, or the scientific method, and then you're going to jump into chemistry review. So you should probably put all of that stuff together and put it in one section or one divider, especially if you're doing loose leaf paper. So if your mom doesn't want to go spend money on expensive dividers, there's an easy solution. You can get a piece of construction paper and just 3-hole punch it. Bam! This is my cheap ghetto divider, and I can label this and put it in here, and now I have a divider for my bell ringers and the rest of my topic areas. So as you take notes, or as you get handouts, as you get homework back from scientific method and chemistry review, you can stick all that stuff together into one unit and put it in between one divider, so that you know where all of the stuff under that topic is. So that's my suggestion to you. Some of you are you really like the spiral notebook. That's fine. If you want to take notes in one of these, I suggest you treat this as your place to divide units. But I'm okay if you take notes in a spiral notebook, but I would highly suggest also having a binder so that you can 3-hole punch any of the handouts that you get, and you can actually put this 3-hole, a lot of the spirals have these 3 holes, so that you can put it in the binder and then keep all of your things, all of your handouts and your notes and your bell ringers in one place. So that's just my very, very strong suggestion to you. If you are super organized and you have a system that's even better than that, go ahead and do that. If you clearly don't have a system that's better than that, then please implement this system. Okay, so that's the notebook. Again, you will be getting credit on your notebooks, and I apologize. I was going to leave this for you guys in the classroom, but I forgot to do that, so maybe my husband can run it up to the school later. But this is the 3-hole punch I was going to leave for you guys in the classroom, in the lab, and I forgot. So hopefully I will remember to bring that up to the school, or have somebody bring that up to the school. If not, there is a 3-hole punch, I believe, in the copy room. So if you really need one of these, have either a teacher go do that for you, or ask permission to go use that 3-hole punch in the teacher copy room. Okay, so that's notebooks. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, on Friday you guys should have written down some notes about science and the scientific method. And I wanted to talk to you guys specifically about one of those vocabulary words that gets misused quite a bit, and I don't want us to misuse it in our class. And that word is theory. And that was one of the vocab words that you should have written down from that Prezi. So theory, you guys should have written down, is a well-tested, sorry, my devices are making a lot of noise. Is a well-tested explanation that unifies a broad range of observations. So a well-tested explanation that unifies a broad range of observations. There are 2 common and terrible ways to mentally approach the concept of theories. So these are 2 really terrible approaches that we can mentally take when we approach a theory in science, and I don't want us to do either of those in our class. So I want to talk to you guys about those 2 ways, terrible ways to approach theories. One of the terrible ways that people approach theories is to equate them with truth. And theories do not equal truth. They do not equal truth. They are not equivalent, okay? Ooh, that's backwards. That's unfortunate. Oh, technology fails us. Okay, so theories should not be equated with truth. They are not truth. And there's a couple different reasons for that. Science is not only a body of knowledge, it's a changing body of knowledge, and it's a process that we use to gain more knowledge. So we're constantly learning more and correcting ourselves and adding to explanations and taking away from explanations and reaffirming some things and saying that's not very well affirmed anymore, maybe we should change this language. So because science is a process and it's constantly changing, we can't equate theories to truth because our explanations for things may change over time quite a bit. And there's room for disagreement in theories. So we can't equate theories with truth. That's a really dangerous thing for us to do. So don't equate theories with truth, okay? And you guys have heard of many different theories that you probably disagree with. So there are a lot of respectable scientists that disagree with various theories that exist, which we'll talk about a little bit more and more towards the end of the year. So we can't equate theories with truth. There's an equally bad way to approach theories that I also don't want us to do, and that's to dismiss them as just a theory. So I don't want anybody to say just a theory. Please don't say that in this class. Don't do that. We can't just say something that we disagree with as, oh, we can't just dismiss it as, well, that's just a theory. Because theories are actually a pretty big deal. They carry a lot of weight, and although they are not equivalent to truth, we can't just dismiss them. A lot of people think the word theory and use it in a common language sort of way, like, who stole the last Oreo? Well, I have a theory about that. That's more like a hunch, and if we were to apply a scientific word, scientific vocabulary word to that situation, like, I have a theory about who stole the cookie, it'd be more like a hypothesis. I have a hunch or a hypothesis about who stole the cookie. We can't just dismiss theories like, oh, that's just a theory, so I don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe all theories, but we can't just dismiss them as not having or carrying any weight. So, two terrible ways to approach the word theory is to equate it with the truth. We can't do that. They're not equivalent to truth because the amount of information that we have and the information that we have changes all the time. And the second way that we cannot approach theories is to just dismiss them as, that's just a theory. So I don't want you guys to misuse theory either way. So that's my discussion on theory. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was communication. I really want to reiterate the importance of Edmodo. We're going to be using that a lot, and that's kind of like my way of communicating with you guys, so I really hope that you take advantage of it and use it. If you have a question, please ask Mr. Eiding and Mr. Gafkin. They're smart guys. They'll be able to help you, and if they're not able to help you because it's like a really sticky biology question or just a really intense biology question that they might not know the answer to, then please ask me through Edmodo, or even I'm fine with you guys getting my email address from Mr. Gafkin or Mr. Eiding if you have questions. So use Edmodo to ask questions. I would love to see you guys start using it that way. So you guys can message me through Edmodo or email me anytime. I can't guarantee that I'll get back to you immediately because I don't know when this kid's coming, but I will do my best to check Edmodo in my email as frequently as I possibly can. So I think it's important that I leave you with another joke. So what did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe! I hope you get that. And until next week, this has been week 2 of Mrs. Quintas Message Mondays. See ya!